is brought to you by ASTRO, Monster Energy, Corsair, Zowie, and Intel.
Back here we are in sunny Valencia for DreamHack ASTRO Open. Once again, the sun is shining, but we don't care. We got 3 great days of Counter-Strike coming up, and that is what everyone here is fighting for, is the DreamHack ASTRO Open trophy. Once again, we can hear the crowd here in Spain making some noise because they're about to watch the home team KPI come up against Heroic in the next round of Group A. My name is James, and I am joined once again by Vendetta and Jacob. How are you guys doing?
Good. Yeah, very well.
Feeling good.
Yeah, excited to see the Spains play again. Or Spaniards.
Spaniards. The
yes.
Spains.
Yes.
Yeah, no, the Spaniards. I am. This is my favorite. One of my favorite things about LAN. Is like getting a local team in front of a crowd like this. You can already hear them with their clappers and stuff. It's amazing. Like, I love it. Keep making noise. We love you. What can we expect from this matchup? Really, Heroic should take it, right?
Yeah, you know, if you want to take the harsh, cold facts, right? That you know, fair is fair. Heroic is the more experienced team. On paper, they're better in every sense of the word. But we have seen, you know, that's not necessarily how it pans out every time. Yeah. KPI had a very good showing versus Envious in their first game. The question is whether or not they're going to have the same amount of preparation going into Heroic as an opponent, and whether or not they have the map pool to actually contend with the Danish side.
Yeah, how are you feeling about this, Jacob, coming into this Danish?
Yeah, echoing a lot of what Vendetta just said. It's gonna be most likely a game that's gonna play out to Heroic's premises. Like it's the favorite team now, and like we saw in the first game between Envious and KPI, they credited the preparation they did a lot for that victory, you know, and they for sure haven't been able to prepare that much for Heroic, because again KPI probably didn't expect to win Envious, you know, so they probably have looked at all the 3 teams and just like did some slight preparation, you know. So Heroic, definitely the better team, definitely have the better history, definitely have the most skilled players, I'd say. So there's nothing really favoring KPI besides from the crowd and the fact that they're like amped from the win against Envious. You know, they're really fired up, and that could, you know, again, it's like when you're not only an underdog team, but when you're like really the underdogs, where you really don't expect to do anything at a tournament like this, you shouldn't from KPI. If you can scare the opponents in the first like 10 rounds and actually get a lead, that could play in as a vital factor.
Yeah, cool. Before we jump in to look at these players, we're going to I'm going to chat to you a little bit about DreamHack Malmo Masters, which is coming up very soon. In about 2 months' time, you can see it there at the bottom of your screen. You can buy tickets to go to that. It's going to be an incredible spectacle of an event, an arena event, which, you know, if you've never been to a Counter-Strike event in an arena, it's something to behold. So you should definitely have a look on the DreamHack website and see about getting tickets for you and your friends. Come down and watch them see us. You should definitely do that. Okay, cool. Spaniards like the idea of it.
Really
We're all going to Sweden.
Malmo, yeah.
Let's go to Malmo. Okay, let's have a look first at Heroic on the stage. Let's have a look at these players, reminding people who are just joining us the players that'll be going up against the Spaniards.
With that new logo.
Yeah,
Madi, obviously, like probably the focal point of Heroic's first match on Overpass. Had an absolutely, you know, crazy performance there. Started off slow. I think Snappy kind of turned him around after a bit of a rocky start versus Misfits. But once Madi got going, he pretty much opened up that B bomb side, it felt like, on the T side every single time. He just kind of ran up, did whatever he wanted to. It's kind of how you looked at Nico at times when he was playing in Mouse Sports. It's just like, yeah, I'm just going to walk in here. I'm going to find 3 frags.
The aggressive lurk, right? Like,
yeah, we'll take it from there. Yeah, it's aggressive lurk. But yeah, and it's definitely been a massive part. And we talked about how, you know, this could be what sparks what is a very good tournament run for him, and how important that can be, because Heroic are definitely one of the outsiders in that sense. In terms, obviously, you want to look at a team like NIP as big favorites for the tournament, but there's no saying that Heroic can't win a tournament like this by any means. They've been close, you know, at other instances of time as well. They got 3rd at Austin. And I think if a guy like Madi can actually maintain that kind of a form throughout the tournament, then it's very likely, actually, that Heroic ends up in a final.
Yeah.
Exactly.
How about Snappy as well? He's been someone who's been
Definitely,
really on
like
form
he's
today.
been known for being this like he's probably the second best in-game leader we have in Denmark after Glaive right now. Like he's shown to be that, and they like Snappy learned a lot from Glaive when they played together in Copenhagen World. So he kind of like adapted the style Glaive has into this heroic team, and it's fun how we talk about Muddy. Like he is like, to me, he's like the tip of the scale if we're gonna see a good or bad heroic at a tournament. But like you have to have the likes of Yuki and Nico in particular to show up. You know, I feel like we haven't even seen heroic for full strength as of yet. You know, because the first game Yuki and Nico wasn't really needed because Muddy did everything.
All the heavy lifting.
Exactly. So there's potential for so much more in heroic, and as said, like I know the guys and I've been playing with most of them, and they're so incredibly skilled individually as well. You know, so when the team play fails and when like sometimes which it does, like it just doesn't work, the coordination is not there. They have the ability to just pick it up the game by themselves, and they have more than one player who can do that, and that's such a strong aspect to have to a team that is not considered like a top 10 team in the world, but is like out there in the
On the fringe.
Yeah.
And now let's have a look at the players that most of these people in the arena are waiting to see. It is KPI Gaming, the Spaniards themselves.
Oh, look at that.
Let's
a
have
neat
what,
trick.
what was that about?
It's a new trick. Making the mouse pad stick.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I've got to do that when I get home.
pulling out all the stops here now.
Yeah.
No more secret tricks. So there we have the line of Donkyu, Alex, Mason, Mopas, and Dragonov. And honestly, even though it was Alex and Mopas who kind of had the highest fragging showcase in the first game, doesn't necessarily mean that the others weren't present by any means. We saw the great pistol round from Dragonov, also pulled out that auto sniper on the CT side to really get KPI going as well. And Mason and Doku just showing reliable contributions throughout their CT side. So it's definitely been a team effort, but it's really cool to see that they do have the individuals to kind of hit peak performance when they absolutely need to versus very good teams. And I think that's going to be a necessity in this game as well, because I think they're going up against a stronger team, not just like, again, very strong individual players on the heroic side as well. I'd say equal to the Envious team, and the only problem now is that you're going to have that added teamwork factor that heroic can play off of coming into play as well.
Yeah, and after their Envious game as well, heroic, and as we spoke about earlier, are not going to try let themselves underestimate this team now. They've already seen them beat like some of the best French players in the world. Like it's
for sure.
It's not going to be an easy ride for KPI.
It's definitely not going to be easy, but I mentioned it before or after the game against KPI and Emmy. I was like, I know how us Danes think elite. Like if I were in the position I'm in with heroic right now, I've been there myself, and I know like they think this is a free pass for us. Win this game, win the semifinal, and this is good for us. So they were so happy when they won against Misfits and knew they were going up against KPI, and that can play into your head too much. You can't get too overconfident. You can't get scared if you get behind in the beginning of the game. If you like, it's all about like what you expect. If you expect something and you face something different, it requires something mentally of you to like set back, and start getting into the zone. And that's not something we've been known for in Denmark to be able to a lot of times. So it could play in as a factor, and it leaves a little bit of hope for KPI.
Yeah, and speaking of hope, Cash going away from Heroic is the standard path. I'm curious of whether or not they're going to remove Train, though. That's really the big question for me, because we definitely saw a KPI that had practiced. Yeah. And there we go. So again, Heroic just playing to their strength. They have the wider map pool as far as we know, at least.
Yeah.
That and they're showing them respect, They show them a little bit of respect.
Yeah, no need to take the chance here. Again, it is the best of one, so you don't want to fiddle around too much and play with your opponents.
I think KPI are going to want to play Overpass here, since they just watched Heroic beat them on beat Misfits.
No, apparently Heroic are not going to allow that to be the case.
Heroic don't even want that. Okay, they want it to be Mirage. How do we feel about that?
It's a great map for Heroic. I'd say it's probably their best, maybe second best map. They've all been confident on it. Especially when they had Vald on the team, like he was a guard at holding the C area, CT side, like being a constant annoyance in the connection area, and Jugi as well, like roaming all over the map with the KPI is going to have a lot of their hands if they want to win this.
Do you think it's a mistake then that they let them choose that, or do you think it's just the fact that they've got such a wider pool of maps that it was hard? You can't ban everything.
I think that's the case, and as well, it's what we mentioned, what was mentioned about Overpass is already being played. They've kind of shown a couple of cards there on the side of Heroic, so why again, give potential fodder to KPI where they might have looked at that game and seen like, oh, we can abuse this and this and this. We're going to go to something completely different because, again, Heroic just feel much more confident on a wider array of maps than what KPI should.
To begin with there, I think there was a lot of Spanish people in chat. It went up to like 80% KPI.
Yeah, I mean, still
but no, it's
hard.
evening out.
To be fair, they have been right. Like, first time around, Twitch chat and you, James, were correct in your prediction.
Yeah, but I had like, behind the scenes, I trained them.
That is true. That's true. I mean, you have so many fingers in play, like,
so
at
many
the
different
stats. Like,
yeah. Oh, I love this crowd. I love
how they get genuinely excited for both sides as well. Like even when they were playing versus Envy, obviously natural for them to cheer every time KPI wins a round. But whenever like the RPK at a 3K, Scream gets a 1 dig or something, you hear like the very natural reaction of like, ooh.
Yeah, it's one of those things like everybody's here just to watch good CS, right?
Yeah.
If you see someone pull off an amazing shot, you're all going to be cheering because at the end of the day, we're fans of Counter-Strike.
It's so easy to feel also as a player, you know. I know they're sitting in booths, but you can feel the excitement from the crowd, and you can like see it like they're right in front of you, you know. And that again, it plays in as a factor. And I know the KPI guys are not experienced by no means, not at this level. But again, if they see their fellow countrymen out there rooting for them and going crazy for them, you know, it gives you an extra motivation. It gives you that 1% extra to actually outperform what you potentially could perform, you know, and it plays in as a factor.
Yeah. Okay, let's go to predictions then.
I think you should start, James.
Yeah.
I can start if you'd like.
Yep.
KPI will win this.
Yes.
Nice. There we go. Just out of the way, right from the get-go.
It's true. Well, I don't know if it's true yet. I'm not a psychic.
Are you?
No matter what the DreamHack Twitter says, I'm not an actual psychic. But yeah, sure. Why not?
Why not? Well, I mean, I can get on board with your 2018 major win KPI prediction, of course, but for now, we're still in 2017, so I'm going to have to side with Heroic for this one.
Yeah.
Again, they just have more strengths to play off if the amount of win conditions that stand in the way for KPI, I think it's just going to be too much for them to handle, and I'm not really sure if we have the consistency on that side for them to expect a similar performance from Alex or from Opos. So without that, I think it becomes extremely hard for them to actually get rounds.
Yeah, I'm going to go for Heroic as well. They looked extremely dominant in the first game, and I'd say KPI, they played well against Envious. They did pick up the win, but it was also an Envious team who played, I'd say, probably some of the most poor CS I've seen in a while from them. So not taking anything away from them, but Heroic is a stronger opponent than Envious is right now, so I don't see them winning this game at all.
I think you have valid points. We will see as we go into this match. But first, let's have a chat with our casters. It's Harry and Risk. There we go. There we go. Hi. How are you doing?
Doing good. James, you're a man of the people. You know, going with the KPI prediction.
It's called pandering, Harry.
Well, I'm going to join you with that. You know, I think KPI are going to win this one.
Okay. Well, I'm going to stay sane and go along the analyst.
No, you're going to stay Danish. That's what you're going to do. That's all that happened.
Yeah. But to be honest,
Danes like Danes.
To agree with Pimp there, I think the map especially is really going to suit Heroic really well. They are really good at Mirage. It's one of these maps that they end on usually on a third map in a best of 3, and they play really well on it. So I think alongside with the fact that I think individually Heroic is just a tad stronger, I think that, the Danes, my brothers, are going to be able to take it.
What's it like sitting amongst the Spaniard fans?
Well, you know, they're right behind us, and they're a passionate bunch of people, let me tell you that. They're very, very happy that KPI are playing. Much louder now than they were last game, let me tell you that.
Yeah. In this box, it's usually hard to hear the crowd, but right now we can actually hear them. So that's just to tell a story about how loud they actually are right now.
Yeah, and you know, the cheering just doesn't ever peak. It just kind of stays really loud constantly. And nothing's even happening just yet, but
we're just talking. They're just cheering for you guys,
happy.
Harry. They're cheering for you.
Well, you know, what can I say?
Talking of which, I think we should get off the screen and let you guys take it away with the match so they can cheer for you a little bit more.
Gracias.
Oh, that was,
I learned that.
That was, that was good. I'll give you that. But
Valencia.
Okay. But come on, that's
I'm just saying words now.
As you know, we get ready to head into this one. You've already kind of said where your loyalties lie. You've explained it's because of the map and, you know, just because you kind of like Heroic anyway. You know, a couple of Danes in there. I hear you guys kind of stick together regardless. But what else are kind of your reasons behind this?
Well, first of all, you have like KPI. They're on a stage right now. This is probably the biggest game of their lives. The first one could be arguably even bigger than this one because coming off into a tournament playing the first game is always going to be literally heartbreaking. It doesn't even matter if you win or you lose. You're just going to be like so pumped up all the time. The second one here, now they have a chance of making it into the semifinals. This is where I think they cannot run off steam, like just steam and just confidence anymore. Because at this point, like I think reality is going to strike them and they're going to be actually thinking about the fact that they could make it into the semifinals here. And when that thought kind of starts creeping in, and Heroic are going to start playing really well, as we know they can do, I think it's going to be really helpful. I think it's going to be a battle of mental fortitude. Can KPI win over themselves?
Yeah, and there we go. There they are up on the screen. KPI and Heroic going to be going head-to-head any second now as we get ready to head into this one. The players are in the server. Everything is set and ready. The map, the stage, is going to be Mirage as to where this duel takes place. As we said, the Spaniards versus the Danes. A showdown in the making, and here we go. It's going to be KPI over on this CT side to begin. Already players out over in mid. They have got someone snuck on by into lower tunnels. The peak going to be coming out from Alex, as he doesn't deny presence in mid. The push coming up through short. Dragunov trying to hold this one back, but Alex, the first man to strike, can actually take the aggression and now loop round from behind. About to put in some serious work. Spots out one of the players. Modi trying to pull this back, but he's been tagged away down low. Yugi does claim one, gets the lurking Alex, and now it's going to put us into the 3-on-4.
This is just turned out to be a very, very strange pistol round from Heroic. They're taking map control slowly, but losing a couple of players in that process. And now in a 3v4, one smoke and one kit still left on Dragunov. That could be pretty much the utility that changes the round in the next 1 minute or so. On the other side of things, you have Donkey, 2 HP, very low, Modi on 33 as well. So Heroic just parked in this position right now, waiting for someone to make a mistake, and I was inches away. But here we go, Mopos mopping up Yugi. And now 2v4. Modi here, still looking for the frag. It's so just caught between a rock and a hard place right now, Heroic. There's not much they can do in this situation. They have rotated the player around. That is, of course, S-Attack with the bomb, the new addition to the team. Towards the B-bombs on Modi, finally finds the frag. Donkey goes down, but he was only on 2 HP, so that doesn't really tell that much. Dragunov in position to take care of S-Attack as he enters. Flanking around, that's nice from S-Attack. Now, slowly but surely getting closer to the bomb.
They don't have much time, they have to be quick, and with Dragunov being up in apps, he could be able to deny this. There's very little time left. Moppa's going to be caught rotating off. Dragunov hears the bomb plant come in, misses the denial, but does get the frag onto S-Tac, leaves this all on Modi. 1v2 to try and clutch this out versus the Spaniards. Enters into the site. They aren't defusing it just yet. They've got the kit on Dragunov, but Mason shuts him down. The defuse going to come on in, and that is KPI to pick up the pistol. A fantastic start from them.
So what Heroic tried to do there is go aggressively and get that mid control early on, and then rotate quickly throughout the map and get more map control, more aggressive angles towards that jungle position, but they just got shot down. We see here some of the shots coming in from Mopos and Alex as well, just holding on this A bomb side, this aggression from mid coming in towards the bomb side, trying to take that through a split. Did not work out at all for Heroic, so their pistol round strat pretty much stomped on by the Spaniards. And now Heroic find themselves in a position where, with that bomb down, they don't want to buy straight up. They want to run pistols now and then buy up in the next round. KPI, on the other hand, almost all of them are buying up here. We have 1 M4, 2 for Masters, MP9, and a Scout.
And I gotta be honest with you, I love Don Q. He's got the MP9. Easily my favorite SMG, both to see played and to use myself.
Lovely sound as well.
It's wonderful in every way, much like Don Q. As he's over here towards Apps, gonna find himself fending this one off quite aggressive. There are players peeking around that smoke. It's not lined up ideally, but look at this from Mason. He's all the way in the back line. Heroic, they have got a player there to check it out. He's going to get the first. Snappy then falls too, and he's now going to barrel on out. Look to try and stay alive. He's already made this round near on impossible for Heroic. And then to top things off, they have to worry about the player in the back line. That's going to be at the forefront of their mind throughout all of this. They can't just execute out in towards B. And he's already fallen all the way back, so they're going to have to clear out so many angles now before they can even go for any sort of play.
This is the problem with doing a contact or timing play on a pistol round like this. If you don't have someone watching your back for mid control or for a push from the CTs, then your timing can be completely offset, or your contact play can be completely offset by someone just rotating in, pushing aggressively per mid control, because you know that it's going to be a high possibility. And now, time is ticking away. The terrorists will have to decide where they want to go. Right now it's looking like they want to go through connector and through mid window and do a split A. Dragunov missing the first one. Terrorists are allowed to come in. He hits one, but it will be caught in crossfire. Mopos answering back though.
There's tag fighting. Yugi going to drop one in mid. They're making this costly, but still within the site you have to worry because, well, there we go. The man, Mopos is there to shut that one down, and that is KPI in with their second. They convert it. The buy going to be coming in from Heroic. He did get the bomb plant in that first round. For such a low investment, you know, finding that as many frags as they did is going to come in handy. They've done some damage.
And they get decent utility. Missing a bit here and there, but it's mainly just Molotovs on everyone apart from S-Attack that's missing. Still have all the smokes they need to do a fully coordinated execute. right now setting up towards the split A. As we do see the smokes coming in. And now positions will be taken towards A. This could go the other way around right now because there's only 2 players just peeking their heads in. This could be the play towards short, in my opinion. Let's have a look and see. And it is. Really nice anti-smokes coming in from the CTs, blocking off the terrorists. Yugi working on the opposite bomb side. Modi picking one up as well. Now, A is, well, not open completely because Mopos is still there. But now, Heroic find themselves in a position where they already have 2 frags. They know another player is low. They have a lot of map controls. They can do whatever they want. KPI in a very hard position right now. Literally between a rock and a hard place, as I said before.
Heroic peeking on out. Yugi, first man to go down. Moppa's causing these guys some serious issues. He's in the back line up in apps. Palace, sorry, they have to be careful. Will smoke himself off. But he's just that problem in the back of their minds now that they're going to have to try and contend with. Flashes himself actually going to take the peek, but caught in the air. Modi will shut him down. Alex, next man to fall. But Don Q, going to go and get the trade. Still has 3 more left to find. It looks like he's going to try and go for it, but S-Tag holding the murder hole. There's a reason why it gets that name. Heroic will be back in with a rifle round of their own.
And this is where the rounds get hard, in my opinion, for KPI, because every single decision they made in this round was not bad. They know that, first of all, Nate's coming over towards A, they get ready, they're holding the angles, they're not allowing the terrorists to get too much map control. Then they find out it's not an A, it's a fake A, they're going to go short B. The instant smokes fall down towards short, blocking off the terrorists. But the problem is that they lose the duels, and it's so hard when you're up against a team that has so many aim-strong heavy players, like a Yugi, like a Modi who can step up as well, Nikhil the same. It's so hard to win duels against that, because 9 out of 10 times, not 9 out of 10 times, let's say 6 out of 10 times, you're going to lose to that, because let's face it, KPI are not that level yet. They might be in the future, though.
Yeah, for Heroic, this round should be relatively simple. Going to grab control in mid, sneak on down. Mason's the one who could mix things up. He's actually been allowed to sneak into apps. They're very good at getting players within the back lines of Heroic. Going to get the first, looking to try and get more done, but Yugi will trade that out. They haven't got the bomb down just yet, but it should be coming on in. It's all on Moppa's 1v4. Over towards this A bomb site, has himself the D, wants to try and do some damage. No, cheeky, out towards mid.
Right now, just looking for exit frags. That's all he's hoping for here. 4AK still alive, and he knows that. But then again, Heroic knows that he knows. So therefore, they're all rotating out different angles on where he's at right now. No, pretty much all of the possibilities. He's just holding the corner and doing a great job of that. Mopos will be forced to run away. And as you said, this is the second time that a KPI player has managed to come into the back of the push before the push has actually extended towards the bomb site. And that's definitely something that Heroic should be aware of now. At this point, the coach Fetish, of course, behind them, he knows this. He's the first second they take a timeout, that's going to be his first information. Calling that, okay, they like to play quick, take map control in the areas you're not controlling, get behind you, do those sneaky beaky plays. And that's something they have to look out for in the end. Right now, just pistols. Not something that should be too hard to handle for the Heroic guys. Has to have a full buy. Let's see here, Mason. Always a guarantee for a good headshot in middle. A rotated position towards underpass.
Yeah, Mason able to pick the first up. Now he's got himself an AK. He's the one player with armor, so he's the one you'd want with it. They have got S-Tag poised, ready to try and eliminate him on his cross, but he's allowed to sneak on by. So now they've netted themselves this rifle. Still 2 players for Heroic over in the top of mid. And they're just going to be taking this very slowly now. They've lost the equal advantage both teams had. And now we're going to see KPI in with that man advantage. Some aggression from Mason out towards ramp. Going to keep going. Modi's there though. We'll send him railing back as he fires some shots downrange.
They are aware now of the fact that KPI keeps pushing if they think there's space to be controlled, and Modi's on the top of that. Probably going to be flashing, or either waiting for the smoke to pop, or to go away, or then flashing through it, and then executing towards the split A. 3 CC players right now on this site. And Dragunov here with the P250 has spotted one, and we'll call this out.
Now he's also got the player aggressively over towards ramp to try and assist. Looping on round, it's Mason. Gonna look to try and boost the player up.
Once again, from behind.
Here we go, able to find the first. Modi, the man to go down. S-Tag, though, pulls this one back into the realms of possibility for the Danes, but Donkey, the Trade King, gets himself one straight back. Bomb timer still ticking away from these guys here. They have to be fast. Now they've got rifles to try and work with, but they don't have any armor within the site. Yugi dispatches the Mopaz over towards ramp. Still has the players in CT left to contend with. Playing it around the bottom. It's Donkey gonna find him, leaving this all on Snappy, who's now in the 1v2. Bomb timer ticking away. It is going to be planted for him. The defuse going to come through. He takes the peek out, misses the shot, and Donkey finds it. The 3K, but there's no time left. No time for the defuse for KPI. They find all the frags. They retake the site, but not in enough time. Still, very promising stuff.
Very promising, and that's the problem if you have that kind of a pistol round where you go for a couple of nades and that's it, a couple of pistols, but you don't have a kit. And if you wait that long, they probably didn't even count on getting this far, but if you wait that long, it's going to be impossible with the timing. I was sure that Snappy had that one. He was just going to tap 2 times and then get the kill, but it didn't work out for him in the end. AWP and Yugi now, something that I'd love to see Dragunov on the CT side with his, perhaps a more stationary one than Yugi. KPI. 2 rounds already. Can they add to that? That's the question. Dragunov going, at this point, without any nades, without any utility. The rest of his team can still back up and Molotov off ankles. Tyrus could be coming in. Still 1 minute 20 to go.
Yeah, and this time Heroic, they're taking it a lot more slowly than we've seen them do in the previous. They know that this isn't a team they can just mess around with. They have to be careful. And it looks like they're going to turn their attention out here towards A. Rotating on up over here at ramp. There is a player left at the B-bomb site in the form of Yugi. It's Dragunov who's aggressive with the AWP. He's going to be the man to break this first contact. They're lining up the smokes and flashes. He hears them come out, takes the peek, finds the first. Now he's fighting for his life. He re-peeks, gets a second. Snappy does shut him down. The players within the site just falling left and right as S-Tag in through the smoke, going to drop out Mopaz, leaving this in the 2-on-3. Alex could deny the plant, spots the player out, and Snappy will bite the dust.
Yugi's so far away.
Yeah, Yugi incredibly isolated from this entire scenario. First is to clear out B. He's going to be rotating around the bomb. It is planted for short. This is the long game. They've planned this one out. He's spotted, but Yugi in with the no-scope. That was ridiculous. Donkey's gone down, and now this is very, very difficult for Alex. He's in the 1v2. It's already hard enough. Has to worry about the player over on short, let alone S-Tag on ramp. This round should be impossible here. As he looks to try and save, turns his attention to the AWP, has to be careful in the corner. S-Tag is there, gets himself the easy 3K. It was looking like KPI could have picked that one up. It was the chance no-scope from Yugi that kept them in that.
Yeah, and look at this from Dragunov, this was just insane. He's in a position where if Fallen is there, Fallen is almost guaranteed to get the first kill, but unless you're Fallen, it's very hard to get away from that aggressive angle with the AWP when the push is coming in. But Dragunov makes it work. Anyways, 4-2. Nice strategy coming out of Heroic, but they pretty much bank on Yugi in that situation not getting killed. And if it wasn't for that no-scope, let's not call it lucky, but almost. If you'd missed that, then a round would have been completely a disaster for Heroic. So it's a lot of attention to give to just one chance. Alex, though, chances it out with his pistol, takes out Snappy, and now the execution coming towards the A-bomb site. All the CTs are rotating in, though. Bomb is going to go down.
Oh, Nico dropping out Mason. Mopaz falling as well. These guys struggling to get anything done in this retake. They have got themselves the rifle up on Donkey. The bomb time has already been taken away for far too long. Oh, within the site, Alex nearly finds that, but it's Yugi to go ahead and get one first. Dragunov falls in CT, and that will be Heroic in it with their 5th. Now Alex, all he can do is look to try and make this a bit more expensive, which he won't.
Well, that's a fair call. He has a deagle. He knows at least 2 of them has damage on them. So even with the body shot, he could have taken out a weapon. Maybe even gotten a weapon himself to save. But Donkey gets the AK, saves it, brings it to the next round. 5-2 still. Heroic taking a lead as we probably would expect. But like at least one action per round shows us. This time around, I think it was the deagle in mid and just the hold, especially from KPI. It shows us that they can stay in this game. They're not far behind despite being behind with 3 rounds. I think every single round they show us that they have some kind of potential going further on into this game. Now they have a full buy. This is the moment where I need to see them step up and grab a round now, because it's been too long with the buy rounds where they haven't been able to pick something up where Heroic has had exactly what they needed. So in order to step back confidence-wise, they need to grab this one now. Donkey starts us off.
Already with the nice fancy play out onto Modi. Nothing in return, and Dragunov over in mid. Notices the player there. That smoke going to give it all away. Does miss the shot. Now can look to try and rejoin Donkey within the site. 2 players over here for Heroic. They've still got S-Tag over in mid. Smoke goes down at short. Dragunov could try and peek over the top if he'd like. Yuki's the one to try and open this all up. Over in Apps, taking his time. Trying to spot something out. And if he does find this frag, that B-bomb site is just ripe for the taking. But it looks like with 55 seconds left, plenty of time on the clock, Heroic gonna get some wind in their sails, turn their attention instead over towards mid.
Super start from DunQ, picking up that double. If you have a look at the grenades, they have no smokes left. Only 1 Molotov on that CT side and still 40 seconds to go. Heroic on the other side doesn't have anything either, but they have 2 Molotovs and 3 flashbangs. So let's see. This is going to play out. Dragunov in the gamble position. And it plays out for Yuki. Double kill for him. The young Dane steps up.
Yeah, now within the site, it is just Mopaz 1v3 effectively. He has to try and buy so much time. Gets the first. Here's the players running around him, but just him being here denies that plant. It's so critical that he stays alive, and Nico will snuff him out. He's bought time for the players to rotate in. Yuki could get caught unaware, which he will. And now it's all on Nico. 1v2. And over in CT, spotted out and dealt with. Still has Donkey left to find. He's been the king of trading, but Nico, the king of clutches, in the 1v2, gets the 3K. And that will be Heroic charging ahead with a 6th.
And even though Nico's this kind of player within the team, when knowing the players, he's kind of like the jokester of the team, always makes fun and always jokes around. When he's in game, he's probably the most focused, him and Snappy are probably the most focused in his team. And you see him like, he gets that clutch. All he does is like high-fives his teammates and then communicates what we're going to do next. He always keeps on talking, always keeps on thinking about what is the next step. So focused in this game, very impressive. Modi also very impressive, shutting down finally that underpass push that KPI has been allowed to do a couple of rounds now, not allowed anymore. And it seems like Heroic pretty much, by now they've read the kind of way that KPI likes to play the CT Star and Mirage. And since they are the first 2 rounds that the Spaniards got, Heroic have been able to shut them down completely. Smoke's going down to block off Alex. Not really block him off, but to block off the position in front of him. And Tara's now setting up for a B split.
Yeah, they're going to go pushing on in. Donkey spots them out, gets the information. They don't have time really to try and change their minds. They've got a little bit. The Molotov going to hold them back. They are fixated on B. Donkey, he's curious. He wants to try and take a peek if he can. Flash going to come out, does hit its mark. Donkey to try and hold these guys back, doesn't get anything done. Instead it's Alex who tries to step up, and Modi snuffs him out. He's on the entries, gets himself 3. Some fancy work here from Modi, who's now 1 off the ace. It all gets left onto Dragunov in the 1v5. They spot him out over on A, and Modi, I mean, must be fairly hungry for the ace at this point.
Oh, definitely. As the NIP were talking about in the pistol with Rez, they wanted to give him the pistol ace in order to give him some confidence, keep like having fun, and just having a light mindset. And that's probably not really what they want to do here, Heroic, because right now they're in a situation if they lose weapons, they lose economy, they know Dragunov has the AWP, so he's going to be able to take at least one of them out. And right now they're pretty content with just building their own economy. They're not at a point yet where they want to throw away their own economy to damage the economy of KPI. That will come in a couple of rounds if it keeps going this way. Then they're going to build a bank that's too impressive. But talking about impressive, this round for Modi. And Modi's not technically one of the star players of the team, but in this round, he just looks like he is. That second shot on Alex is absolutely disgusting. And we were talking about it. They were talking about it on the desk. Modi's at a point where he's just going into bomb sites, kind of like Nico-esque, grabbing 3 frags and say, okay, guys, I cleared it. You can come in now. And this is the perfect time to take a timeout. They need to find out how they're going to get back into this game, KPI. They are, of course, the ones taking that timeout, but Fedi's the coach of Heroic also, able to talk to his players. And both coaches being able to come with some feedback here.
And, you know, I mean, that home crowd behind you can be a bit of a, you know, a double-edged sword sometimes. It's, you know, you're in front of the people who kind of support you the most. That can put you under a lot of pressure if you do start to fall behind, right? I mean, it's great to lift you out of that all at the same time. But, you know, if there was one audience I wouldn't want to be this far behind in, it would be this one, you know. So I hope they can pick it up and we can see a bit of a resurgence from KPI. I mean, as James has said, what? Major winners by 2019 or 2018?
2018 for KPI.
Yeah, there we go.
2019 for Red Reserve.
Okay, it's the tricky one.
Now, he's the predictor, so
yeah.
This is going to come true. No questions. All right, pause is... Yeah, both teams want on pause now. They're not going to take the full time here. We're going to jump straight back into the game. As we do have an interesting round on our hands from KPI. They have one up. Around it is only pistols. And the next round, they have definitely something planned for the buy. Let's see if they can make this one work. At least do some damage and maybe even save their up for the next one. Look at that, Alex! Deagle's Modi.
Yeah, fantastic start here from KPI. They've already got themselves the first. They're going to try and counter this by going fast out onto A. They know KPI don't have anyone within the site, so it's allowed them to get the bomb plant down. They've got the kit on Dragunov, and that could make all the difference here. They're going to take the aggression in towards CT. Nico finds the first, but Mason tries to pull this back. He's still alive and kicking, still got some work left to do, and Nico will snuff him out. He's on 2. Into the 3-on-3, and Moppaz has been allowed to sneak into the side. Dragunov does get one. S-Tag's had to trade things back into equality, but no. Moppaz dropping out S-Tag, leaves this all on Yugi. 1v2, bomb timer ticking away. They've got a kit over in CT. The defuse gonna come in, and Donkyu, the D-King, goes out and finishes off Yugi. KPI get around. They had no business winning. They can save up these rifles. They carry the AWP forward. They carry forward an M4 as well. And that is going to be a hit to the momentum, the ego, you know, everything for Heroic.
We can hear the crowd now cheering in the background. And what a round from KPI there. Straight off the pause, getting back in, getting back the confidence. Now they have a full buy coming in from KPI. Heroic, on the other hand, of course, with the full buy as well, and they have money enough to buy even if they lose this. But KPI getting back into the confidence is probably the most important thing right now. If they had lost this and Heroic were on 8, it would have been so hard mentally for the Spaniards to come back into this, but this time around doesn't happen. KPI on 3 now. Mid-control being taken by Heroic.
And this is a heavy emphasis on mid, as you said. KPI set up quite well to deal with this. You've got Donkyu and Alex over by connector. Mason can rotate into window. They have got a 3-pronged approach out towards mid if they'd like, but a player going to be boosted in the form of Snappy. He's up in window. Mason actually going to rotate out at just the wrong time. Does allow him to exist within the back lines of KPI.
Let's see how this is going to play out. Alex close range. Nico takes him out.
Now within the site, Moppaz is still here. Players ready to come in through ramp. He's spotted out. One does drop Snappy. But now he's been made aware that Yugi's over here on ramp. He hears the players on Tetris. Trying to fight for his life, just buying time for Dragunov to rotate on in with the AWP, who first has to deal with S-Tag. Moppaz can do this, which he can. In through the edge of the smoke, gonna drop him out of the equation. Now it's a 2-on-2, and this one being pulled back by Moppaz within the site. Knows where the last 2 players are. They don't have time to rotate back to B either. They have to dedicate out to this. He spots one out over on Tetris. Now he's on his 3rd, looking to try and get a 4th. It all falls onto Yugi. 1v2, time ticking away. He's got to be fast. First dealing with Moppaz within the site. Dragunov isn't in a great spot to try and trade this out if he does go down, but that's not non-factor because Moppaz picks it up. A 4th round for KPI as they look to try and pull this back to an even setting. Starting to just wear away at the economy of Heroic.
What a round for Monpost there. Absolutely insanity coming out from him. He's top fragger right now, 12-7 right now. Even though his team is behind with 3 rounds, he's still at the top of the scoreboard for the entire server. And being a Spanish player, Monpost. It's probably hard to pronounce it in Spanish. I'm not exactly sure since I'm not from the region. But he's definitely impressive. That's something that I can say with 100% guarantee. Right now, once again, Heroic, it's the same default. Same thing Pimps keep talking about on the desk. Like that one default. If you have it, if it works, and you can continue to grind rounds, or at least feel like you're in control of getting it down to a bomb plant and getting down to a 2v2 post plant, then there's no reason to change it. And that's what they're doing right now. This is a very stand-up way of playing Rush, taking that mid-control. But if you watch, like, if you do the 50-50 gamble, it's always hard. You can lose out. S-Tack coming in, Dragunov having sick plays.
Oh, he's in the fire and flames, but he's still firing shots away. It's all on Mason. He's able to get himself one. Yugi does trade that back. Now alone, finding himself in the 1v3. And players all around him. Has still got time to work with. Has to be careful, though, because already in CT, Dragunov is there. Looking to try and get 4. Bomb plant will come in from Yugi. He's now got time to try and reposition, but Donkey on the flank means that ramp is not the safe haven we're so used to it being. Yugi has to watch out. The timing isn't going to be there, and Donkey in from behind drops him out the equation. Defuse going to come on in for KPI, and that is a 5th. Since taking that pause, they haven't lost a single round.
This is a time where I would like Heroic either to go for a very different, maybe more aggressive style of T-play, or just to take a timeout. I don't think they're going to take a timeout just yet. So I think they should be going for maybe a quick B apartments play, instead of doing the slow default mid-control that they're doing right now, because the last 2 rounds, it seems like KPI has figured that out and know exactly how to counter it. And well, they're setting up for taking some mid-control again, but this time around is not the big part of the attack that's coming towards mid. The rest are going straight for the B hit. It's going to be the quick play as a, well, not really the quick play as a stop by utility, but it's focused on that B. It's focused on some more explosive play than the last couple of rounds we've seen from them. Instead of hitting that A bomb side slowly and surely, they're going to group up and hit a B contact.
Yeah, Donkey is here. Pop Flash comes out, and now he has to step up in a big way. Everyone going to come charging on. Now he gets the first, but that's all he gets. Within the site, Alex and Donkey both go toppling down. And now, with S-Tag over in mid, he could be the one to completely shut KPI at this round. Everyone going to go ahead and bypass him for the time being. It seems like they're wary as to the idea of someone in mid, but not the case. S-Tag spots the shadow. Down goes Moppos, and that is now the 2-on-4. At this point, Mason and Jugnov just going to look to try and save. Oh, Mason. He hears him.
Yeah, he calls it. You can see it on the webcam.
Hang on a minute, though. Now he's gone sneaking on in. He's got himself the knife out. He might be trying to be very, very cheeky. Heroic.
This is too cheeky.
Heroic can't allow this to happen. Surely you've got players over by
smoke
shore.
Too.
They think it's clear. He's going to try and go for it. Mason gets on the bomb. They hear it. They're going to go running back in, and he will fall. I like it, though. He's a confident guy.
That was a ballsy play. Right now, I think he's probably thinking, I should have gone for that. I threw that weapon away, but the amount of cojones you have to have in a situation like that, like you have a full setup, and you know that there's a chance of a play being made here. You know that you're going to force your team on this kind of a forced by pistol round here with the shotgun with some flashes and some pistols. We still go for it. I think that's very refreshing that he's not afraid at this point. Heroic, though, with the, I said, change of pace, going for a quick B play, that's exactly what they did. Now they're back in it. They didn't lose. They can still keep on building that economy. KPI, on the other hand, CT economy, very, very hard to establish and keep going. So they're in big trouble right now, money-wise. Heroic on the verge of a 9th round here.
Gonna go charging up short. Donkey, the man to try and stay alive within the site, will fall at the first hurdle, and now this B-bomb site just overrun with Danes. Bomb plant going to be coming on in. Nico's holding short. He's in such a good spot just to completely annihilate these guys. They shouldn't really be in a shot with getting much done anyway. Dragunov is there. He's got himself the Nova, a man in a dream. He's done a lot of damage. Goes in for more, and he will be able to drop out Nico. So there we go. Some money made. Dancing around, but Snappy does actually go ahead and help out there and eliminates Mason, leaving this all in Dragunov. He's got himself the Nova, the trusty Nova. But it will be a 9th regardless for Heroic.
See if he can get anything done with this. I'm pretty sure that Heroic are not going to challenge this. They know that their economy is not that good either. It's actually only 3 out of the 5 players who can rebuy if they were to lose this, but they're just saving their weapons. Good job by Heroic getting on that 9 rounds, but yeah, KPI having a tough time in these last couple of rounds. One thing I had to mention as well, the round win percentage when Heroic are going B is astronomically high right now. It seems like every single time they've went to B, they've taken the side with relative ease and won the round as well. So at this point, I wouldn't be surprised if they just keep going mid-control to B or just straight up B push, because right now it's not really working out for them on A. Trading 1 for 1, still B seems to be such a better place for them to go.
And I mean, when we look at this, this is where things get tricky. Mason's about to go aggressive and discover the location of this bomb, and also spots out Snappy. So KPI in the driving seat in this round as they take that man advantage. They've got so much information, and Mopos has rotated round up aggressively in Palace.
So hard to deal with.
Yeah, this should be near on impossible. He takes the peek out.
Flashes
Hot
timing
flashes
as well.
there. That was perfect, and Mopos just firing shots down range. A shooting gallery in T-spawn is now it all falls onto Nico in a 1v4. He has himself the AK. He snuck up through connector, but he's not ready for Donkyu, who goes out and finishes off from short. A 6-9 half for KPI.
Yeah, the combo there from Dragonov and Myson, I think that was just insane. Like the flash timing as well, really, really nice from them. Both of them actually taking that. But in the end, it's still a 9-6 half for Heroic. The question is, how good is their CT side here in Mirage? Because if you get caught in the economical game on a CT side, it can always be hard to keep those buys coming. Luckily for Heroic, they're not a team that relies that much on the double AWP structure, so they can easily go with 5 rifles or 4 rifles and 1 AWP. They don't need that double AWP in order to play their 100% game. Right now, they're just using the tad of small break here between the halves to talk about, okay, what are we going to do? How are we going to keep this lead going? How are we going to deny them the chance of coming back into this game? Because KPI, with the momentum, with the crowd they have behind them, it's a very real possibility.
Definitely so. I mean, I think when you consider how much of an improvement we saw from KPI when they took that pause, and on top of that, how individual players have really been, stepping up for them in getting a couple of these rounds. When you look at it, I mean, we've had memorable plays from Mopos and Donkyu, I'd say, have really been 2 standouts. So now heading into the T side, that should benefit them a good bit. Heroic. They did spot 1 player out over on ramp there. They're going to aggressive up through mid. Nico just going to go to push the envelope. He gets so much information on the back of this.
Yeah, and with this push, they know that it's going to be either an A push or a straight B push. And right now, they're gambling on A. 1-for-1 trade to begin this.
Yeah, charging in towards the site. Players are rotating, and as you said, it's Mason who I want to keep my eye on. He could be the difference maker, but his team have to stay alive. And with Yugi on the site, that's going to be a difficult one. It all falls onto Mason, the flank player. He was all the way over in B. Bomb's now been dropped, fighting for his life. Spots out. Yugi does manage to get revenge, but he's still got more work to do. And Nico, not a fan of the man, does shut him down. Heroic in with a 10th.
And in this situation, when you have a man of mid, and you know, okay, they're not going to take mid control, usually that's not something you want to do in a pistol round on Mirage anyways. So you have to gamble here, because either you're going to have to play A, which is most likely in pistol rounds that you push that position, especially if you waited some time, or you have to gamble on playing retake towards B. They gamble towards A, that's exactly where KPI is going. It's all working out. Even if KPI did the other thing, like 4 guys towards B, 1 guy lurking towards A, the retake could still have been on here for Heroic. And I think in the pistol rounds, it's very important as a CT that you play together as a team, as a unit. You don't want to go off taking individual 1v1s, because all the turrets are going to be coming in at the same time. Talking about that, full B push.
Yeah, gonna go charging in. Are you able to find one? The Tech-9's still yet to do anything, but saying that, they managed to get themselves 2, putting it back into a 3-on-3 now. Bomb plant gonna come in for KPI. Utility gonna lock Heroic out the site. Donkyu tapping away with the tech. Causes some distress for Heroic now as he's picked up the man advantage. Also on the lurk, it's gonna be Mason once again. This time his teammates, less pressure on them within the site. He's allowed to work his way in from behind, and Mason could be the difference maker, but he's walked right past Snappy. Knows where one of these guys is. Snappy within the site does get one. Caught looking the wrong way, but no, Snappy stepping up. gonna be put out of his misery by Donkey, but that flick from Snappy was insane. If he'd picked that round up, that would have been ridiculous. Luckily enough, KPI, they managed to go ahead and pull that back. They're now in with the 7th. I really hope we get a replay of that, can I just say.
Donkey, of course, here. And here he goes for the tap. That's not a duel he should be taking, but he takes it anyway and wins it. And just holds down this position and holds it down in the end. Very nice round by Donkey. One of the difference makers, as you mentioned, at the half-time. Now coming into the second half, he still continues to make a difference. Gets frags here and there. Heroic on the force, 3 Deagles, 1 Scout, 1 UMP.
Yeah, out in mid. They've just been handed control of it. Heroic not too keen to be peeking with these Deags and the Scout. Nico is the man over on short who wants to try and put a stop to all this madness. They're going to go walking on up, but the pop flash is perfect. He's fully blind, and Alex will be able to pick him up uncontested. KPI have got control of mid. And actually, Mason's so good at worming into the back line. He's going to drop out Yugi. Continues his reign of terror over towards Ramp, but he doesn't clear it. Snappy going to be here. Here's the player rotating in through Ramp. Donkey is going to go down as Snappy picks that one up. He's got himself the AK now to try and make some magic happen with, but I imagine we're just going to see the save come in. Bomb plant for KPI and 2v4 in the retake with no kits.
It seems that now, even harder than on the when KPI won the CT side, Heroic are having trouble dealing with the KPI players coming into their back line. We see Mason do it a couple of times, and it's like they're not exactly sure how to counter it. Because I'm pretty sure they're all aware of it by now, that they like doing this, they like walking through smokes, they like pushing aggressive angles, coming in behind the opposition. But I haven't really seen anything actively being done to counter it, and I'm kind of wondering if it's because they chose to leave it out, to not do it at all and focus on just their own game, or if it's a mistake being made here. It could be both. Snappy and Modi working in unison, getting frags all over the map, managing to pick up 2 of the players before the time runs out. Mopos on 13 HP as well, taking him down, and KPI getting another round, Harry. They're getting back into this, 8-10. This is still doable for them.
Still doable indeed, and I think they would go above and beyond the expectations of most if they do manage to pick this up.
Imagine if they were the first team to qualify for the semi-finals in Valencia, the home team.
I know, that would be awesome.
Insane.
And it would mean so much more than if, other teams were to go ahead and do exactly that. This time, though, over in mid, it's a flat mop-up, a round that never should have been. Moppa's in the 1v4, make that a 1v3. He tries to pull this back. It's a complete slaughterhouse over in mid, but he's still alive and kicking. Bomb's been dropped out in the open. He has to try and retrieve it. Now, the good thing here is he's dropped the player with the rifle. The Scout's still up on Modi. That can do some serious damage and leave him prone to these USPs. He has to be careful, and he's been tagged down at 3 HP.
They're triple peeking him from the window, and that's absolutely insane. And now they've got to triple peek him again. The pistols proved too strong. What I'd like to highlight there is Modi's play. He comes out, gets that frag in the first with the USPS. And that's an incredibly difficult play to make. Then he grabs the AK-47, gets a job done in mid. And yeah, nice play coming out there of Heroic. USP round turned into a win. Well, USP and a Scout. There we go, 11-8. KPI this time around forced into a lower economy buy. 4 pistols and an AK. And not full utility. It's going to be a hard one for them to deal with. Let's see what they want to do. Once again, S-attack coming in here towards middle. Making sure that if the terrorists want to stay there, they have to stay behind covers and not peek anything. Not really giving them any chance of using this mid control to gain even more. Keeping them in their place.
It looks like they're thinking about the A-bomb site, but KPI haven't exactly dedicated just yet. They've still got Mason and Alex over in mid. They throw out that Molotov onto stairs, and actually I think that's for Sandwich. Now it looks like they're going to try and peek on out, see if they can get any information. Yugi, the Deathbringer over in CT, has himself the AWP. They're waiting for Mason and Alex to get in a position to push up through connector and go for the split into the A-bomb site. And if they go now, the timing should be fairly good. They've just had one player rotated from B. Yugi gonna pipe up from CT spawn. Snappy through the smoke, gets himself 2, trying to get a 3rd. backed into the corner, having a fight for his life, and he will go down as DonQ. Able to finish him off and make that 2 as Nico goes down as well. He pulls this back into a very doable round for KPI. He has to now contend with Modi. He's rotated him from B and does manage to get the trade better late than never. Yugi and CT to finish that one up. It is... Sorry.
Yeah, I was just about to say, very nice play from Yugi there. And you see his reaction speed, it's off the charts. In a situation where the Tara is just trying to shoulder peek and trying to just bait out a shot, he's just standing there holding the angle. The second that the Tara steps out for the real push, he just locks him down with the AWP. And that's, yeah, Yugi in a nutshell. He's so talented with that weapon, and he can just pretty much outshoot anyone. Right now, once again, pistols towards B. Quick play. Nade gonna be money. At least 100 HP being shaven off the KPI players. I'm just holding for now. This is a timing B push. As per usual. Modi hears the steps. Holds it.
Yeah, there's going to be water falling out. He's already spied the bomb. Damage is being done, but for Modi, they all just come pouring out into his arms. He gets himself to. It's actually Nico to go ahead and take the brunt of that from short.
But yeah, just the holding unison there from the two players on that B bomb side, Nico and Modi. Very nice. Modi just holding it, throwing in the nade, anticipating a quick push. After that, they wait for the timing play, and the second he hears the footstep, drops down the smoke, holds a more defensive angle, allows Nico to spraying from the other side, and the second that any terrorists want to come out from their position, they're just going to be shot down completely. This does allow, though, KPI to buy up fully, as there was a complete eco round coming in from them. So 8-13 with the buy now. I'm pretty sure that if KPI loses this one as well, Heroic might run away with it.
Yeah, up on short. Yugi is there with the AWP. Also got two players for KPI over in apps. This time they've played a more default round. They've spread out, tried to maintain map control, and with DonQ up in Palace, they've denied any aggression in through A, at least through Palace. I mean, there is still the potential to see ASTAG try and take some control on ramp. Bomb going to be left back passive. They can pick it up. The plan is here, have DonQ hold for any aggression. He rotates back through T-spawn, secures himself the bomb, and then joins up with the rest of the guys, either through apps or over in mid. But of course, there's plenty of time left. They could even change their mind and try execute out in towards the A-bomb site, and they're going to go for the run boost. This could catch Yugi off guard as he holds down the A. No, they messed it up. That could have been terrible. That was, okay, KPI need to gel as a team a bit more, maybe. But here we go. Going to be making their way out into mid. The Molotov hold back the push through lowers. That's fantastic because now there's very limited trade potential for KPI out in mid, and it's just bought precious time for Heroic.
They have to decide where they want to go now. There's only 25 seconds to go, and the second that the CT sees something towards one of the sides, a full rotate is going to come in. And here we go.
Yeah, it's that. Yugi up on short, somehow gets himself 3 against overwhelming odds. Now it's all on Mason, who's able to tap away and get 1. But that is it. There's no time left. Even then, staying alive, going to be a challenge in and of itself, but Snappy is merciful as ever and does finish him off while there's still time left. So KPI still get money. Good guy, Snappy.
Yeah, thank you, Snappy.
Look at this.
Thank Mr. Snappy.
Look at this from...
Yeah, and that was why, like, I was calling the full rotate, but that doesn't even matter because Yugi just shuts them down. Triple kill with the AWP, medium to close range. That's what you want from an AWPer. You want an AWPer that can long range, really be effective with his reflexes and just consistently hitting the shots, but also an AWPer that can medium to close range, be able to lock down a push and not being afraid of taking those doors like Yugi is right there. So just a complete AWP player, in my opinion. One of the reasons why he was picked from the Trick lineup over to Heroic a couple of months ago now. Once again, mid control being taken by ASTAG, at least being spotting, making sure that no terrorists there. And once again, this indicates that it's going to be either a split play coming in from underpass, which is the case, or contact play or timing play coming in with the timing onto one of the bomb sites. So they're just going to rush it. Right now, it's the split, and ASTAG might be... God, I forgot the timing's unlucky for the terrorists. They could have pushed him there. But the bomb is still towards B, so this is indicating to me that all this aggression towards A, that's all just a fake.
Dragunov baiting this out in the smoke does run the risk of ASTAG pushing through, but look
nice one once again.
I don't know how he does it. This man, this beast somehow gets in into angles he should never be allowed to get into. They have no idea he's here. I don't even know how he got here. As he snuck on in, if he went further forward, he would know that there's a second up on platform. Nico's allowed to survive. He pivots round, gets himself 2. Donkey there to trade that one out. Will be the 2-on-3. They're allowed to get the bomb down. Allow him to facilitate a decent buy up into the next on the back of it, but now they've got armor. They've got themselves rifles. Donkey holding an aggressive angle over here by Shop. Spots one of the players crossing, goes on in, gets himself 1, but Snappy in retort finishes him off. It all falls onto Alex. 1v2, player pushing in from short in the form of Yugi. Snappy's out from Shop. They have to be careful. Smoke's gone down to allow the defuse to come on in. Alex takes the aggression, finds the first. Yugi's on the bomb. Alex has to be fast here. He gets fully flashed. The defuse comes in from Yugi. And Alex can't even finish him off in the end. It is going to be match point for Heroic, 15-8. And they get that smoke defused.
Yeah. You have to constantly be afraid if there's a kid and a smoke going to play in that situation. You know, like, when you're a team in that situation, you can just wildly spread the smoke or just go close and try to knife him. Either way, you can sometimes be off because you're not 100% sure exactly where that bomb is planted. And Yugi's just allowed to do that. I wouldn't really say it's a good play from his side. It's just unlucky from KPI there. And that's been the case for the last couple of rounds here. I think they're making good decisions, but they're just being a bit unlucky in some of the trades and then losing out duels. Once again, mid-control by S-Attack, clearing it, this time going aggressive. Mason has to counter to this. S-Attack not going to check it. And that's because he's been pushing that position 3 times in a row now. That's why Mason is holding there, making sure he cannot get too much information or getting a big flank. Modi holding though.
Bomb plant gonna come in. Modi on the other side of the smoke in CT. Tries to deny it. Mopaz will trade him out, but Yugi in with the fancy flicks. Does dispatch of Donkey. Gonna be the 2v3. Yugi? Okay, there we go. Nico gonna put it back in it with 2-on-2 as he drops out. Mason up towards top mid. Mopaz finishes off Yugi. It all falls now onto Nico. 1v2, he's going to look to try and go for this. He has the defuse kit, he has himself a smoke, has an incendiary as well, so he can block off CT. He knows there's at least 1 player here. There are 2. He's only got knowledge on 1. Throws in the incendiary. It's going to force their hand out of the open. The smoke goes down, fakes out the defuse. They fall and prey to this once. He spots 1 out within the site. Going to go ahead and go for the defuse. Dragunov, you have to try and deny this. He's hit him with the knife, but he can't find him. And Heroic, for the 2nd time in a row, they go ahead and defuse that in the smoke. It wins them this first match. They make it through to the semis. That was fantastic. Smokes are the arch enemy of the Spaniards.
That was gut-wrenching from Dragunov in that last one. You even, like, you hear the knife sound. You know that he's there.
You could see the frustration, the karambit just flailing around in the smoke. My heart is racing, and if you're KPI, to go ahead and lose out to that is going to just be heart-wrenching, you know?
Yeah, because they're in a situation where they know they're up against a really tough opponent, but with the upset they delivered against Envious, they know they can do it, but in this situation, it's so hard. He just got shut down too many times.
How's that for a replay? Look at him hitting the boxes all around. It looks ridiculous, you know, when you get the bird's eye view, but oh, for KPI, that is just a gut-wrenching defeat. For Heroic, though, that is honorable victory, 16-8. They've looked good, they've looked fancy, and now they will be making, you know, the first teams to go ahead and win this out and make it through to the semis.
Yes, definitely. Also one of my favorites here in coming into the tournament.
I wonder why that is.
Of course, yeah. Danish. The second ones are coming up in the next game, which are NIP, but we have to talk about this for a second. KPI, despite losing this, I felt like they had a lot of really strong points throughout this. They had coming into the enemy lines, back at the enemy lines, Mason round after round making it in there. I'm going to have to download this demo and find out how he did that. If it's just off gambles or it's off heroic mistakes, it could be both. And just in general, handling situations very well. Yeah. I felt like they reacted well to a lot of the strategies that Heroic was throwing at them, but they just lacked the last couple of percent because they couldn't answer back in the duels. When they were in the close situations, they got maybe nervous, maybe unlucky, probably both as well. And that is pretty much the reason why they couldn't close it down.
Yeah, we saw a lot of potential, a lot of promise there, I think, from KPI. And I don't think, you know, the Spaniards can be too disappointed. It's not like they're out or anything. They've still got their shot to, you know, compete and then make it through tomorrow. And I think it's been a valuable kind of learning experience for these guys to move forward.
Definitely. And right now on the stage, we have Mr. Stunner with one of the victors.
Yes, that is right. That is me standing here on the stage with Mr. Madi, one of the first semi-finalists here of DreamHack Valencia. How does it feel?
It feels good. Amazing.
Amazing. Now, coming into this tournament, is this what you guys expected?
Of course. If we didn't qualify for the playoffs, it would have been a huge disappointment. So, yeah.
Well, looking at this crowd right now, this crowd has been predominantly behind KPI. There's talk on Twitter about, does home field advantage exist? What do you think?
I think it does exist. The crowd is amazing. It's good they're here to sharing their home team. So I'm happy for them, and they're good.
Well, being our first team going to the semifinals, what do you guys need to work on before you get there?
I think we need to watch the opponents, of course, and study their play, watch some demos, and we have a day off tomorrow, so we're gonna have time for it. So we probably will be no excuses if we lose the semifinal, but everything besides the final right now would be a huge disappointment for me. So I'm gonna do everything I can.
Well, there you have it. Madi and his boys getting ready to go to the semis. I'm gonna throw it over the desk so they can break it down for you guys at home.
Thank you so much, Stunner. That was an impressive turnout by Heroic. It was what you guys expected. I have to admit, it didn't really go in my favor this time, did it? The prediction?
No, but I mean that was still a game. You could see multiple instances during the game where KPI actually had the opportunity to get control over it and actually get back into it. And we saw, how the game ended. Kind of heartbreaking. 2 smoke diffuses in a row for Heroic. Yeah. And again, those kind of things could pretty up the score a tiny bit. I think overall Heroic still played better. Yeah. But, that was not to say that was just a walkover for the Danish side by any means.
Yeah, quite an unconventional way to finish the game out, both of those rounds, right?
Yeah, it's fun though. But as you said, like they put up a game, and they played well, and it gives you hope for tomorrow when they go into the elimination match or the decider match against whoever is going to face them, right? They showed today that they can beat a team like Envios and they can play up with the likes of Heroics. Which is quite unexpected, I'd say, from this lineup. Like I didn't expect them to do this well. Yeah,
and they did it without actually Alex having a game at all. He was honestly very quiet for the entirety of Mirage. Luckily, Donkey stepped up in his absence, but again, if you want to beat these kinds of teams as an underdog, you need your best players to perform at any given time. Mappas did that very much so. Like, he was definitely present this time as well, came through with some big clutch rounds as well, or big clutch kills in important moments. But yeah, if you're going to make it through, if you're going to beat Misfits in a best of 3, or what have you, whoever ends up being your opponent, you actually need those players to be on full form.
What do you make of Mason and his lurking skills? Like, almost every round, it was like I'm almost certain he no-clipped, right?
It was a very cheeky attempt at a ninja diffuse there towards the end of the first half, at least. And got to give him credit for actually believing.
I feel he has a very interesting playstyle in given the fact that he's an in-game leader, especially on the CT side as well. He was very aggressive in the underground area, always pushing up, always. And then you switch over to the T side where he becomes more like a lurk guy, like a X-Factor guy, or whatever you want to call it. It seems a bit messy, but I'm sure there's a plan with it. Obviously, when you're inside the team, you know what they're doing, and you know where you have your people. But from the outside, it seems a little messy, and it's fun to see because there's not a lot of those types out there, and especially not as in-game leaders.
Yeah, definitely so. And to bring it further, Dragonov as well, taking a bit, kind of odd spots with the op as well on the CT side, playing close T-pit, for instance. Yeah. It just catches people off guard. So yeah, definitely cool to see. I wonder actually, that's 2 traits that actually SK does a lot. So maybe they've found some inspiration from the Brazilian guys.
Yeah. So Heroic are our first semi-finalists, as Molly was saying there in the interview. They have a day off now, so they won't be with us again until day 3 when we start our semi-finals. He was saying, okay, we're going to be watching demos for the rest of the teams, which is fair enough. Is there anything else that you feel like they could improve on off the basis of the performances that we just watched?
I'd say they haven't met a competition yet that is need them to improve anything. They've had 2 fairly easy matches. They've been playing well, so they can just carry on that momentum, I guess, into the semifinals. And we'll see. It depends on who they meet in the semifinal. It could be a CLG. It could potentially be a NIP if they went on to lose now in the next game. There's still possibility for a great matchup. But if I were Heroic, I would just take the time off tomorrow, chill, go out in the sun, relax and have fun. Get that team environment thing going, you know, because when you're having fun with the guys you play with, you usually also perform better. That's at least my experience. So go out there, have fun tomorrow, and then obviously watch the demo or two tomorrow night when you know when you're actually playing, and then you can take from there.
Get one of those. Get one of those laptops which has like no glare on the screen, so they can sit by the pool, watch demos.
All of that stuff.
2 birds, 1 stone.
There we have it.
Yeah. Any final thoughts on this match before we?
Again, pleasantly surprised by KPI, and again, it's business as usual, which is nice to see from a Heroic side.
Cool. All right. Thanks very much, guys, for analysing this match. We'll be back very soon. Before we do, I just want to remind you that the Strafe Esports app is a thing that exists, and it's cool. It's a place where you can find out about all that is esports, your favorite players, your favorite teams. You can find out how they're doing in tournaments, what they've got coming up. You can even discuss it and vote on who you think is going to win match by match this weekend and for the future of esports. So go check it out while we go to a break, and we'll be coming back with the last match of the day.